In the landscape of human potential, few figures loom as large as Bruce Lee. He was not merely an actor or a fighter. He was a philosopher, an innovator, and a force of nature who shattered conventional wisdom and redefined the very concept of physical mastery. His life was a testament to the power of an unyielding will, a journey of relentless self-improvement that left an indelible mark on the world. His story is one of intense discipline, revolutionary ideas, and a legacy that continues to inspire millions to push beyond their perceived limits. Bruce Lee's journey into the world of martial arts began early in his life in Hong Kong. As a youth, he was often involved in street fights, a fact that concerned his parents. To channel his energy and teach him discipline, they enrolled him in the Wing Chun school of the legendary Yip Man. Under Yip Man's tutelage, Lee did not just learn a set of techniques, he was introduced to a philosophy of combat that emphasized efficiency, directness, and the conservation of energy. He was a dedicated and sometimes ferocious student, absorbing the core principles of Wing Chun, such as the centerline theory and simultaneous attack and defense. This early training provided the foundation, but Lee's insatiable curiosity would soon lead him far beyond the confines of any single style. As a teenager, Lee also found a passion for dance, becoming the Cha-Cha champion of Hong Kong in 1958. This might seem like an incongruous detail, but it speaks volumes about his understanding of rhythm, balance, and footwork, attributes that would later become hallmarks of his unique fighting style. His life in Hong Kong was a whirlwind of activity, but it was also becoming increasingly fraught with gang-related tensions. His parents decided it would be best for him to move to the United States, to claim his citizenship and forge a new path. In America, Lee faced a different kind of challenge. As a young Chinese man in the late 1950s and early 1960s, he encountered prejudice and skepticism. He began teaching martial arts to make a living, initially to fellow students at the University of Washington, where he was studying philosophy. It was during this time that he started to question the rigid dogma of traditional martial arts. He found that many of the classical forms and techniques were ornate and impractical in a real confrontation. This intellectual and practical conflict became the catalyst for his revolutionary ideas. Lee's training regimen was nothing short of fanatical. He was a pioneer in the world of physical fitness. Long before the advent of modern sports science, he understood that to be the best, he had to cultivate every aspect of his physical being. His workouts were a grueling fusion of strength, cardio, flexibility, and skill-based drills. He would run miles every day to build an unshakable cardiovascular base. He performed thousands of reps of bodyweight exercises like push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups, often with his own unique variations. He incorporated weightlifting, focusing on compound movements like squats and deadlifts to build explosive power. But he carefully avoided becoming bulky, prioritizing functional strength and muscle density over pure mass. His diet was meticulously controlled, a blend of Eastern and Western nutritional concepts designed to fuel his high-performance lifestyle. He would often drink protein shakes made with raw eggs, milk, and supplements, a practice that was far ahead of its time. This dedication to physical conditioning was revolutionary. At a time when many martial artists focused solely on technique, Lee was forging a body that was as powerful and efficient as the art he was creating. This intense physical training was matched by an equally intense intellectual pursuit. His studies in philosophy at university were not just for academic credit. They provided the framework for his martial arts philosophy. He was deeply influenced by Taoism and Zen Buddhism and fast kick. This wasn't just brute force, it was a testament to his incredible speed, precision, and the full-body coordination he had developed through years of relentless training. He could also perform incredible feats of speed and reflexes, such as snacking on a pair of flying nunchucks or plucking a dime out of a person's open hand and replacing it with a penny before they could close it. These were not just party tricks, they were exhibitions of a level of neuromuscular control that was, at the time, simply unheard of. His fame exploded with his role as Kato in the television series The Green Hornet. While the show was short-lived, Lee's charismatic presence and electrifying fight scenes made him a star. He used his newfound fame to open his own martial arts schools, where he taught students of all races, a controversial move at the time. This led to a famous challenge from the traditional martial arts community, who wanted him to stop teaching non-Chinese students. The outcome of that private match, which he won decisively and quickly, convinced him that the traditional arts were too bound by rules and limitations. further fueling his drive to perfect Jeet Kune Do. Frustrated by the lack of substantial roles in Hollywood, Lee returned to Hong Kong, where he was offered the opportunity to make his own films. He took the industry by storm. The Big Boss was a massive success, followed by Fist of Fury, which cemented his status as a cultural icon. His third film, The Way of the Dragon, which he also wrote and directed, featured a legendary fight scene with Chuck Norris in the Colosseum, a symbolic clash of East and West that showcased his cinematic and martial arts genius. He was at the peak of his career when he began work on his most ambitious project, Enter the Dragon. This was the first co-production between a Hong Kong and a Hollywood studio, and it was designed to be his introduction to the global audience. The film was a masterpiece, blending incredible action sequences with a compelling story and a philosophical undercurrent. It was poised to make Bruce Lee the biggest movie star in the world. Tragically, he would not live to see its release. On July 20th, 1973, at the age of 32, Bruce Lee died. The circumstances surrounding his death have been the subject of much speculation and myth. The official cause was listed as a cerebral edema, or swelling of the brain. The sequence of events began a few months earlier, when he had collapsed during an automated dialogue recording session for Enter the Dragon. He was treated for the edema and recovered. On the day of his death, he had been at home working and meeting with producers. He complained of a headache, was given a painkiller, Equidesic, and lay down for a nap. He never woke up. The medical explanation is that he had a severe reaction to the painkiller, which triggered a fatal buildup of fluid in his brain. Other theories have suggested overexertion, heat stroke, or even a foul play, but the official cause remains the reaction-induced cerebral edema. His death was a shocking and sudden end for a man who seemed to be the very picture of health and vitality. The world was left to grapple with the loss of a man who had seemed invincible. Enter the Dragon was released a month later and became an international phenomenon, turning Bruce Lee into a global legend. His influence only grew in the years after his passing. He single-handedly shattered the stereotype of the Asian male in Western cinema and popularized martial arts across the globe. His philosophy of self-expression and continuous improvement resonated far beyond the dojo, influencing athletes, artists, and business leaders. His son, Brandon Lee, also an actor, died tragically young while filming The Crow, adding another layer of myth and tragedy to the Lee family story. But Bruce Lee's legacy is not one of tragedy. It is one of inspiration.